Open your eyes, and the first thing you see in the pitch-black dark of 4 in the morning is the faint light reflected on the cold ceiling of your dorm room. This is level 1 of your life as a fighter pilot. It all begins with strict, unforgiving discipline. The long, dark hallways of the flight academy smelling of gunpowder, jet fuel, and hot metal, and endless manuals on aerodynamics, air navigation, and meteorology, left open on chairs. The silver wing badge pinned to your cadet uniform's lapel is still brand new, gleaming, but your body's already throwing up every day from G-lock stress, the relentless 9G pressure crushing down on you during centrifuge tests, and that pitch-black curtain, the deadly blackout fear, that veils your eyes when blood drains from your brain. Discipline and order here aren't just rules. They are your sole means of survival. Rapidly shouting checklists from memory like machine gun fire, the mandate to find hundreds of switches, toggles, and indicators by touch in total darkness, and the roar of the trainer aircraft engine on your first solo flight, as your heart blends into the cabin's vibrations, become your new reality. But success has a dark, painful underbelly. While your old friends are out living their youth in the city center, walking the streets and laughing with loved ones, you are in the cold military barracks, memorizing flight tactics and air corridors for the next day. Your personal life, your relationships, and your family slowly fade away under this iron discipline and endurance test, with an uncertain future. You can't answer phone calls, you spend your birthdays in isolation, and solitude becomes your only confidant. Those concrete runways you run sweating profusely at 5 every morning, and every flawlessly executed task push you forward step by step. Time passes ruthlessly in sweat and blood, and you ascend to level 3. Now a lieutenant, you are a lone warrior thousands of meters in the air inside the cockpit of a modern supersonic fighter jet. BVR, Beyond Visual Range Combat Systems, radar locks, green numbers flashing on the HUD, tactical data links, and the top of the clouds 15,000 meters up in the dead of night become your true home. Childhood training is over. Real combat duties and ear-splitting scramble alarms begin. The terrifying shudder of the airframe as you break the sound barrier, your own heavy, breathless gasping inside the oxygen mask, the sharp smell of hot kerosene, and the constant battle against spatial disorientation, the nightmare of losing the horizon during night flights, test you on the brink of death every single second. The weight on your shoulders grows daily because you are no longer responsible just for your own jet and life, but for your wingman in the formation as well. The cold, terrifying reality of losing friends on combat missions, through technical failures, or in ruthless night crashes gouges your heart for the first time at this level. The silence of that empty chair and untouched plate in the quiet, cold mess hall at night pierces your ears louder than any visual lock warning. The pain of loss burns inside, but at 6 the next morning, you must put your helmet back on and sit in that kerosene-scented cockpit again, because up in the air, you don't have a single second to spare for fear or grief. Years replace one another. Your body and soul harden like iron, and you rise to level 6. Now a major serving as a squadron commander, with thousands of flight hours, hundreds of dangerous maneuvers, and dozens of missions escaping death by a hair behind you. Your body slowly begins to pay the heavy price for the immense strain it endured over the years. Severe herniated discs, chronic neck and back pain, bloodshot eyes with burst capillaries from G-forces, and a voice that always sounds tired, yet authoritative, become your invisible internal mark. Now you aren't just flying an aircraft. You are managing the lives, fates, and deaths of young pilots, executing low-altitude missile evasion maneuvers, or teaching young aviators how to return to base without casualties. Forces you to face a dark honesty within. You have turned into an emotion-insulated war machine, killing your feelings deep inside so you can bring your people back down to the tarmac, alive and well. Returning home on leave, You watch your children look at you like a stranger hero, and you see the cold, unceasing anxiety in your wife's eyes that keeps her awake at night. Even sitting at the dinner table with your family, your mind and soul remain trapped in tomorrow's scenarios for breaching enemy air defense systems or mid-air refueling maneuvers. And finally, the pinnacle of time arrives. Level 10. You are a general serving as the base commander. Your hair is completely silvered, and every deep wrinkle on your face is an indelible mark of air combat, lost pilot friends, deferred lives, and tough orders given. You no longer wear your G-suit every day. The familiar crisp air of the cockpit high above sea level has given way to watching the skies behind the thick glass of the air traffic control tower. The thunderous roar of fighter jet engines still vibrates deep within your chest, awakening the old pilot spirit inside. But now you make decisions from the ground, over cold strategic maps and complex screens. You have become a leader carrying the heaviest, most crushing load of responsibility, quietly praying inside for every jet and every young pilot you launch to return safely. One day at sunset, as the fiery orange light slowly fades in the sky, you stand alone at the edge of the runway, watching incoming jets land. Your eyes catch a young lieutenant who just stepped off a taxied jet. Holding his helmet, with deep rubber impressions from the oxygen mask stamped on his face, exhausted from walking, his body trembling from strain and pressure, he walks toward the base with an irresistible, wild, and innocent love for the sky in his eyes. You look at him, and suddenly time freezes. You see yourself 30 years ago, that fearless, dreamy, resilient young boy from Level 1, who was madly in love with the skies despite everything. You know that young man will walk the same thorny paths, endure sleepless nights, heavy losses, physical agony, and emotional isolation, yet he will still choose this path. Because this profession is not just a job or a trade. It is a legacy of the soul, the eternal call of the sky. And as you walk toward your retirement and old age, a deep, proud, and tearful serenity washes over you, leaving you with a soft smile, knowing that behind you, a new eagle is rising to take over your wings.